Good evening, race fans. Welcome to another broadcast from the Core Racing Network. Tonight we are back in the Mazda MX5s as we tackle the short little half-mile tri-oval that is Myrtle Beach Speedway, and really kind of a unique little tri-oval here as it's got really, it almost seems like more than three corners. Obviously, you have the little tri-oval part that's on the front stretch, but turn one is almost, two or maybe even three different apexes that you can utilize. It's not like you just get to the inside or get to the middle and kind of ride that. There's a lot of different ways you can handle it. And turn three is, for the most part, hanging to the inside, but a lot of guys have been shown, to kind of start in the middle and dive down on the exit. But the exit of turn three heading down onto that front stretch can be certainly treacherous, but should be a good one here tonight. Track is about 68 degrees, so it's perfect for racing out there. I'm joined in the box here by my friend Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, how's it going tonight?
Doing pretty good. Been a busy night, busy day. Just looking forward to relaxing and watching these guys put on a great race for us.
Certainly should be. Looks like we got about 8 guys that are going to be showing up here tonight, so nice little field, but these guys will put on a show even if it's only 2 drivers out there. They they certainly know how to mix it up out there. So right now you see the leaderboards right now for practice as we got about 2 minutes left, and really close at the top. As you see, Owens is just on top of Crockett by 0.02 of a second. And, not too much further back to Ricky Gonzalez, and really the rest of the field only separated by 0.6 of a second. So really should be a good tight race out there, and that's what we like to see. It's short track Saturday night here on a Monday night, and we're about to go essentially 4-cylinder racing.
Yeah, these cars are actually a lot of fun here. I did a little bit of practicing while I was setting up the broadcast tonight, and you actually have to drive a little bit. It's not all just lead foot, so there might be some accidents tonight if these guys don't take their time. There's going to be multiple lanes. You can run the bottom, you can run the top, and you can even run the middle. So, or you can diamond the corners. There's all kinds of lines tonight, and I think you're going to see some pretty good racing tonight out of these guys, as we have in the past few weeks.
Yeah, certainly, as I said, a really unique kind of little tri-oval here. So be interested to see how these guys handle it. It certainly can catch you at a lot of different spots. Obviously, you got, like I said, the exit of turn 3 heading onto the front stretch can grab you into the wall really quickly. You got the turtles that are in turn 1 going through there. You can't clip them on the inside, or that'll really disrupt the car. And yeah, I mean, the little bit of testing that I've done, it seems like it's maybe a little bit tight going into the corners, but as soon as you get off, the back end will try to come around on you, and even on corner exits, sometimes the back end wants to come around. So certainly need to be, have your wits about you out there, and make sure you know what you're doing at all times. And that's just by yourself. You group these guys together, and it'll definitely provide for some action out there.
Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be some pretty good action tonight, that's for sure. No doubts about that one.
Looks like we are just about wrapping up here in practice. We're going to go to 5 minutes of qualifying after that, and then we will get you into your race session. But again, your top guys, is it's actually switched now, as the top guy on the board now is Ricky Gonzalez, and I'm guessing got a really good lap with the draft there, as he is 0.05 of a second over everybody. And again, still only about 0.9 of a second all the way down to 9th place, as may have 9 or 10 guys out here, so it's starting to fill in here a little bit. Should be nice as we head over to the qualifying session right now. And really, it's normally, with a smaller field, qualifying doesn't matter that much because you can move your way through the field, and these cars do draft pretty well on normal bigger tracks. But this is only a half-mile track. I don't think the draft's going to play that much into play, Jimmy. What do you think?
I mean, it can, maybe to set you up, so you can get that good run coming off the corners, or maybe set you up so you can dive into the corners. It just depends on how these drivers drive the cars tonight, obviously. And you can see Paul going out there for his qualification lap, kind of getting the wall a little bit, trying to start high and come in low. But it's definitely going to be interesting tonight, and I think the lines are going to vary between the different drivers.
Yeah, it looks like Paul may be abandoning that lap there, and hopefully he's got another one in the bank here to try and get a lap done. But it's going to be 125 laps out here tonight, so a nice long race. A lot of time for these guys to sort everything out. You said you got some practice in. Do you think tires are going to play any kind of an issue towards the end here, towards the middle of the race? As Paul just really struggling out of turn 3 there.
The front right will heat up, and it's going to wear some. I was out there for about 20 laps or so, and it didn't wear down very much. Maybe only 5%, but if these guys go green for a long period of time, that right front tire not only will be worn a little bit, but it will also be hot, which will make the car, greasy and, start pushing them probably a little more and won't turn in as easy. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting tonight. I think these guys are going to do a good job. See if I can follow somebody else around the track here.
Now, the fuel itself doesn't seem like fuel will be an issue, and it's 125 laps, but these cars can go pretty deep on the fuel run, and be really interested to see if these guys could stretch it all the way to the end. Again, you're going to be stretching those tires all the way to the end, which is going to play a bigger part. But if you're able to kind of maintain that tire temperature on the right side, and maybe make those tires last all the way to the end, it could certainly pay dividends as compared to coming in and having to take a pit stop. That would not be too too good if you're running out. But if you can make it all the way to the end, you could certainly gain a lot of time on the rest of the field.
Yeah, that's definitely that's what can happen. I think it was the pit lane. I think's on the back stretch though for tonight, not on the front stretch like normal. So hopefully these guys have practiced their pit strategies a little bit, or at least know where it's at, so they can get in there when they need to take tires and or if they take tires and fuel.
Well, unless they change it, it should be out of into turn 3, I believe it is where you enter the pit lane. I know there's a pit lane on the back as well, but I think that's just when the field filled it out, unless they've changed it since the last time that I've been here. But yeah, these guys are gonna need to know what's going on and getting in there. I'm not sure if these Mazdas have a pit limiter, but obviously we've seen guys before struggle with speeding on pit road, speeding, entering, exiting. You really need to mind your P's and Q's when it comes to pit road, or it can just ruin your race real quick.
Oh yeah, it can definitely it can hurt you if you don't know where that pit lane is. That's for sure. Uh,
Trying to look for anybody else that's out there on the track. Looks like Kevin Foster out there on the track right now, laying down a lap.
Yep, I just see him pop up here. See if I can get over to him. There he is. Looks like we're gonna have a fairly small field tonight. Looks about to be 8, 9, no, maybe 10 people.
And that's really not that bad. Considering this series is brand new and just kind of getting a feel for if these guys like the series, and it's really a fun series for anybody that's out there watching, thinking about getting into, almost essentially like a rookie class kind of series, and you like oval racing. This is certainly a good series to get into because it'll teach you a lot about oval racing, whether it's the draft, whether it's making moves alongside of people and racing alongside of people 2 wide, 3 wide. We've seen these guys go 4 wide already. So looks like we're done with the qualifying here. So we will bring up the results here in a second, show you what the starting order is going to be. And again, 10-car field normally isn't that big of a deal when it comes to qualifying, but I feel like tonight you're really going to need track position, and the guy that is going to be on top of the boards, just joining into the series, Matt Crockett on top of the boards. He will start from pole. Kevin Foster, Mark Gonzalez, Abi Vishwasam, and Tim Thompson round out your top 5. Brendan Whitford, Paul Owens, Paul Owens, your first one that did not put a time down. You've seen he was quick in practice, so maybe had some issues in qualifying and tagging the wall. Line Watkins, Ricky Gonzalez, and Paul Butler also not putting any times down. You've seen Paul Butler when we were on him definitely having trouble scraping some of the walls. So these guys will have to figure out a way to get through the field, and you got 125 laps, so you got plenty of time to do it, but you have to be smart doing it too, because we joke about the the mirrors kind of dangling off to the sides, but if you're doing that, you've clearly damaged your car a little bit, and even though it's short track racing, you don't want to do too much damage, or you'll be having to use that fast repair pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, they only have so many fast repairs, and I think we just give them one, so we definitely need to take care of your car. There is going to need to be a little patience, but it's also good to see Crockett back in the mix. I know he took a little hiatus from core for a little while, but it looks like he's back, and looks like maybe he found some speed, and he's starting from the pole tonight. That's good to see.
Absolutely, and looks like the pace car is diving in, which should be the pit entrance for tonight right there at the beginning of turn 3. The field will come through turn 3 here and get the green flag. Again, 125 laps. It's going to be a long race here, but these guys will click off the laps pretty quick. As the green flag is in the air, we are racing at Myrtle Beach Speedway.
There you go,
Already
Matt.
getting a little close into turn 1 with Foster and Crockett up there, and Foster will hold the outside and still too wide down the backstretch for first, as Mark Gonzalez, both the Gonzalez brothers out here tonight, and we already have an issue.
Would be Paul Owens.
Looks like Owens thought about going 3 wide, and Tim Thompson, not sure if he caught the wall or if he just kind of caught the apron and it sent him up right into Paul Owens. Big crash there. Really a rough one to see.
Tim there. Definitely. Looks like he caught the inside wall just a little bit.
Yep, and the inside wall and out to the outside as he collects the 54 of Owens, the 131 of Brendan Whitford are certainly some guys that were involved in that one. And yeah, I mean, you see it right there, lap 1, and we're already using fast repairs for these guys. And again, Owens was one of those guys that was fast and at the top, and Whitford qualified in the middle. Tim Thompson obviously even ahead of them, so real shame to see that right away, but that's what can happen. It's short track racing, and you can get banged around pretty quickly here.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. You see, just tapped the wall, and these guys were running pretty close together. And when he tapped that inside wall, just pushed him up a little bit and got into Paul. And obviously they went around and collected Whitford. So these guys will have to go in, collect their fast repair, come back out, and they'll be back in the back. But there's still a lot of laps left. They just need to maintain a clean race throughout the rest of the night, and they could find themselves up front.
So in the meantime, we were watching that wreck back there. It looks like by the time the yellow came out, Foster has assumed the lead, and Mark Gonzalez also got by Matt Crockett. So with those guys 1, 2, and 3 right now, Mark's brother Ricky looks like he is back there in 5th. So we'll see if the Gonzalez brothers can maybe work together, or maybe there's a little sibling rivalry that will prevent that. But plenty of time to figure that out. Right now, it is the man that seems to be the one to beat this year, Kevin Foster, out there in the lead once again.
Yeah, he's no stranger to being up front, and that's where he likes to be with these cars, and he's going to make it difficult for everybody to get by him. If you're faster, and he'll let you by, but he's not just going to roll over and let you go. So hopefully these guys have something for him, and give him a challenge, and make him work tonight.
Yeah, obviously this is only our 4th race in the season of 8 races, but Foster already racking up 2 wins of the first 3 and top 5 in all 3 of them, and just really putting a beating to the rest of the field. The guys in second line, Watkins, in the point standings has also a win. He's the only other one to win and beat Kevin. But Kevin's got a 27-point lead. He's got the lead right now, and we are back green here at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, Kevin got off to a great start, so definitely those guys are gonna have to catch him. But that draft can come into play just a little bit, and looks like Mark Gonzalez is behind Foster, and followed by Matt Crockett in third.
And it looks like Ricky Gonzalez putting the moves on Vishwavasim as he gets to the inside, takes over that fourth position. Owens looking to try and capitalize as well, as he's going to have to fall in line for now. Diving down to the inside in turn 3, and don't want to have the same issue that Thompson did. He got very close to the wall there, as both those guys will race side by side down the front stretch into turn 1. The 54 is going to have the inside. But we've seen Foster make that outside work with the the drive that you get off, but right now it's going to be Owens up to 5th. Oh, actually, did not realize Owens is a lap down. So he's trying to fight his way through the field and get his lap back the hard way right now. And doing a pretty good job of it as he dives down underneath Ricky Gonzalez now and put him into technically P4, a lap down. But on the regular laps, we have Paul Butler moving into 5th place as he passes Vishwavasim on the outside. And out front, pass for the lead, as it looks like Mark Gonzalez has gotten by Kevin Foster for the lead.
There we go. Yeah.
And I believe this is Mark's first race here in the series, as I don't see him on the point standings here. So we've seen that before. We've seen him hop into a series, win it, and then he doesn't show up again. So maybe he realized that this is a race that kind of suits his eye, and he can hop in here and try and beat these guys, and then maybe not show up again. Seems to be working with him so far, and he's starting to check out here a little bit, as he's out to about a half a second lead already.
Yeah, he's definitely got some speed tonight. I mean, see how much he's wearing them tires down to see if these guys can catch up to him and get around him, or if they're going out for a longer stint or whatever, try to stretch them tires. So later down the run, they might just pass him like he's standing still if he burns up that tire too much. But he's definitely out there in the lead right now with Kevin Foster behind him. But it looks like Owens is charging through the pack, trying to get his lap back as he's giving pressure to Mark Gonzalez right now.
Yeah, I gotta believe that 54 is burning up tires, if anybody is, as he is charged all the way through the field. Restarted back there pretty much all the way in the back, and he has passed everybody in the field. He is now on the lead lap, and Mark giving him a little shot there as they go down into to turn 3. But yeah, Owens obviously has speed. He's got to be able to keep it clean now. Obviously, he's used that fast repair already, but he's passed everybody now. Any kind of caution, and he can get back to the back of the field and maybe try and work his way right back through again.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta be careful. And now he's up front. Now he's just gotta hope for a little bit of luck, because I don't think he's gonna just drive away from these guys in the front. So, but I'm sure, hopefully he's hoping for a yellow, so he can get his lap back fully and be back in the tail end and have to redo what he just did not too long ago.
Well, now the brothers are 1-2, as Ricky Gonzalez is right behind his brother Mark. They are the guys out front right now, short of Paul Owens, that is technically leading the field. But Ricky looking to the inside. Mark is going to slam that door shut right there in turn 1. And yeah, you wonder if maybe the dirty air is hurting Mark here, or maybe he kind of got that right front a little hot too quickly. But you've seen these guys have reeled them right back in here. And we're going to have a battle for the lead once again in a turn 1, but Mark is going to slam the door even harder this time, as he's going to dive down underneath Owens as well. And maybe kind of same thing. Owens burning up that tire has hurt him a little bit speed-wise, and it looks like Mark is giving him the business.
Whoop.
And
Yep, that would be what she wrote. So the 54
like,
has gone around.
Yep, and it looks like he is stuck there.
He was
single car incident there. as he was kind of stuck right there. Looks like the wheel just kind of might have disconnected from him, as we've seen that before. As you see, his wheels just are turned straight to the left and stayed there. So, guessing the wheel disconnected. Real shame for him, as you know, he stood to have a pretty decent race since he got his lap back, but now having to fight back, and it looks like he's back on the track already. He's a lap down, but not sure what happened, if he got reconnected and head back out there. But out front is going to be Ricky Gonzalez. That little incident is going to push Mark Gonzalez back to 6th as he moves back up now to 5th, getting past Lyon Watkins. But Gonzalez, Ricky out front. Gonzalez, Mark towards the back.
Yeah, I mean, Mark was pretty quick, and if he didn't have much damage done to his car, he'll be able to drive back up to the front. Obviously, it's going to be a little more of a challenge, and his brother's driving a pretty smooth line as seem like they're catching up to Paul Owens that had that incident earlier. So we'll see how these guys handle him when they catch back up to him, if they catch back up to him.
Another guy that is catching back up is your pole sitter, Matt Crockett, who has moved himself back into 2nd. A little bit wide in turn 1, gives the inside a little bit to Kevin Foster, but they will still be side by side down the backstretch. Foster to the inside of 3. See if Crockett has the drive off of 3. Looks like he's going to, but they're still side by side at the line. Foster now back in line. He will get back into 3rd, but yeah, it looks like Crockett's just using that extreme outside line. Not sure if he's doing that, you know, to kind of save a little bit of tires, or if he prefers that line. It's enough to hold off Foster for now, but Butler is looking to join that little mix-up, and he's coming pretty quickly here in that Agent 77 car.
Yeah, when you have 2 guys fighting in front of you, it does slow down the pace just a little bit, because somebody's got to let up somewhere, or both cars have to let up to maintain, you know, safety so they don't wreck each other. So that allows the drivers behind them to actually catch up. So, but yeah, Paul's back on their bumper again, and he's looking to take 3rd place away from Crockett. And it does look like Mark Gonzalez has caught back up to the back end of Paul Butler, so Mark's not out of it yet, and I'm sure he's pushing hard to get back up to the front with his brother.
Yeah, certainly not out of it. As you can see, the field kind of spread out here. You know, again, the draft not doing too much, so it's hard to kind of keep everybody grouped up together. So the field is spread out a bit, as the 131 there out front is on the lead lap, but he's well behind. The 54 behind him is 1 lap down, so he's got to work on getting his lap back once again. And you know, he's really going to need a caution to be able to do that. And same thing with the 131, going to need a caution to catch back up to the field. But right now, I mean, it looks like Ricky Gonzalez has got a good hold on this lead, as he's trying to get away from Kevin Foster. We haven't really seen anybody check out, other than Mark Gonzalez. When he was in the lead, he got out to about a half a second lead before they reeled him back in. Ricky has gotten out to a 9/10 of a second lead, but once again, it looks like the field is starting to reel him back in. So maybe the draft is playing a little bit bigger part than I'm realizing.
I think it plays a little bit, especially down the straightaways, but obviously it really kind of depends, I think, on how far they send it into the corner and how well they, you know, get off that corner, you know, to get a good speed.
Good to see that 8 car finally getting some type of sponsors, as you seen it last week. It looks like he bought a maybe a slightly newer car than the one he had before, which looked like he just kind of pieced the car together to get into the field, and it was good enough to get him a couple wins. And maybe not good that he's gotten sponsors, because you know, he had sponsors last race and didn't come away with the victory. He's certainly fighting hard to catch back up to Ricky Gonzalez here to try and fight for the victory tonight. And it looks like Ricky has caught up to the back of Paul Owens. So certainly the either the tires or the damage are hurting the 54 car, as he is possibly going to go another lap down here, as the field has already passed Whitford to put him a lap down.
Yeah, I mean, Paul was able to get around Whitford, so I mean, he still would be, if something were to happen, is in the lucky dog position. Now, how hard he fights Ricky Gonzalez here to maintain the front is will be fun to see here, as these guys are. Paul is known to race pretty hard, so he's definitely wants to stay in that lead lap and give himself a chance, you know, at the end.
Well, Owens is actually a lap down already, so he's technically behind Whitford. Whitford is the lucky dog right now, as he
Oh,
just
yeah.
got lapped. Paul is about to go 2 laps down. So, you know, Paul just really in a hurting position right now. He needs a yellow so he can try and maybe get a wave around, if anything. But again, you know, plenty early in this race. We're only 35 laps in, coming to 36 right now of 125. So a lot can happen yet, you know, whether it's through yellows or just straight up issues from other drivers. I know one thing, it seems like these cars, the gearing, you're only getting up to third gear. Do you think this is, you know, do you think these guys are going to have any kind of issues with overheating, or, you know, maybe some of these guys are shifting in the corners, or no?
I think they're probably going to maintain third gear probably the whole race. I didn't run the car long enough to see if it would blow up. So, I mean, I was just reaching third gear, and it was pretty much what I used. The car helped rotate itself and get pretty decent speed. The times that they're running now is pretty much on par with what I was running. So, I think it's just a test of the motor to see if it's gonna blow or not, running it only getting into third gear. So there might be some people trying to use fourth. You can use it a little bit, but I would be downshifting in it right in the corner anyways. But it would only be for a short spell and maybe to save some fuel.
Well, Jimmy mentioned it, that Owens is going to fight hard, whether he's a lap down or not, and you've seen it last lap as Foster tried to look to the outside, coming to the front stretch, and got into the wall. Had the lead briefly. Ricky Gonzalez took it back, but then Foster again on the outside made it work. Looking for that outside pass once again, but Owens not making it easy on him, as he is pretty much blocking. I'm wondering if these Mazdas have a button to be able to flash the lights, because I think Kevin certainly needs to flash the lights at Owens here to try and let him by.
Yeah, well.
And it looks like Foster getting into the back of Owens. Keeps it off the wall. Owens got a little bit squirrely there, but that's going to open the door to give Ricky Gonzalez the inside. Getting the lead again for the moment, but Foster really making that outside lane work and really getting a good run off the corners.
Paul is definitely holding these boys up just a little bit because he doesn't want to go that lap down.
Yeah, Foster is working that back bumper of the 54s. He's going to dive that on the inside. Finally get that pass done. But now, maybe not, as Owens will dive back down on the inside. Wonder if he's going to show the bumper now to the 8 car, as Foster still fighting hard on the outside. I mean, you think there's a battle for the lead, but this is a battle to try and keep Owens from going 2 laps down. And you clearly see he has the speed, just caught up in some unfortunate incidents early in the race. It's put him back here, but sneaking up into the picture is your leader before those incidents, Mark Gonzalez, as the Gonzalez brothers looking to gang up on Foster here. 3-way battle now for the lead.
Yeah, these boys are, you know, obviously Kevin's doing a lot of work trying to get around Paul, and these guys are kind of sitting, I think they're sitting back just a little bit, and as you know, they get together, I'm sure Foster's getting a little bit frustrated with Paul as he's holding them up, as Ricky gets by Foster, and Mark is now underneath Foster, you know, fighting for that second place. And as this is happening, now Matt Crockett's in the picture along with Paul Butler, so, you know, Owens is definitely holding these guys up as they can't get around him, and he doesn't want them to go around him, so he can stay on basically on the tail end of his lap, so he doesn't go 2 laps down. So, but these guys are definitely gonna have to eventually wait for Paul to make a mistake. And as you can see right there, Kevin is now back in the lead with Ricky Gonzalez and Mark Gonzalez. It looks like Matt Crockett going to the outside, followed by Paul Butler, you know, coming down out of turn 4. So these guys are definitely being grouped back up here as Foster is fighting endlessly with Paul Owens, and looks like he finally gets around him, you know, coming out of turn 2 here as he's got the outside coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, but Owens fighting back once again, and Owens will have the inside. Foster's been getting good runs off the corner, but Owens just sliding out just that little bit and has enough of a run once again. They'll head into turn one side by side. And I was about to say before Kevin took the lead back that it looked like Ricky Gonzalez taking away Foster's line a little bit, but Foster was able to put it down on the bottom and get by him on the bottom. So that 8 car can certainly be put anywhere he wants it to go, and he can be fast out there. Still, though, dealing with the 54 and trying to put him a second lap down.
Doesn't quite get that grip on the outside. I mean, he gets a good run down the straight, but he just can't make it stick to the outside, as he's gonna have to probably slide her down and probably pinch Paul down a little more, because Paul, as you can see, as he enters into one here, he's holding him up high, so that's gonna have to that makes Kevin, have to let up so he can make his turn. So he's not able to come down. So that's why these guys are actually slower racing side by side, and obviously Kevin wants to get around them, and if Kevin can eventually get around Paul here, how hard is it going to be for Ricky and Mark to get around him as well?
And Owens just not going away. He's like a little gnat out there. Keeping ahead of Foster, and you wonder, kind of at what point do the guys that are behind Owens, just kind of throw up their hands and like, you know what, we're only 52 laps into this race. Let's just settle down a little bit. If he wants to hold us off that much, then let's just hang behind him and ride this thing out for a little bit and worry about it after pit stops, if we're even going to have pit stops. With that early yellow, that might be enough for these guys to be able to reach it all the way to the end on fuel. And that could be another situation too. I mean, Kevin was certainly pushing hard enough to try and get around Owens, but the other guys like Ricky, Mark, and Matt could be hanging back there and just using the draft and maybe saving a little bit of fuel to make sure that they can get it to the end.
Yeah, definitely. It takes a lot trying to get around somebody that's fast and that's a lap down and just will not let you go by. It's like Kevin takes a dive down there into turn one.
Yeah, I think give him a little shot.
Yeah.
A little bit of a bumper run into turn one, and that's what he needed. He needed to be able to get down on that inside and kind of hold Owens off, but a bump and run given right back as the 54 forces his way back to the inside. We've got a heck of a battle. Unfortunately for Owens, it's not for the lead, but he's putting up one heck of a fight up here to try and stay one lap down. And they're not getting too far from the 131, so Owens about to possibly move into ninth and in that lucky dog position. So, it may not be what a lot of people like to see out there holding up the leaders, but it's starting to pay dividends here for the 54, as if he gets by the 131, he's in the catbird seat for when a yellow comes out, if it does.
Right, yeah, he's definitely, in that position to capitalize, if he can get, if he can catch up to the 131, as these guys here are battling, you can see back here in 6th place, Tim Thompson just kind of hanging out, and he's, slowly catching back up to these guys as well, along with Jeremy Lyon Watkins. Abby's not too far. I don't know if he just fell off pace or maybe he tapped the wall or something, but just kind of hanging back out here. I'm sure he's hoping for a caution. Or maybe he's saving fuel and he knows that he's going to make it to the end, and maybe that's his game this week. So definitely maybe some little bit of strategy going on as these guys fight really hard on the front. As it looks like Kevin Foster is still trying to get around the 54, as now Ricky Gonzalez is underneath Kevin Foster as they go into turn 2, middle of turn, in between 1 and 2, and now they're out of 2 coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, Tim Thompson involved in that early incident, so I'm guessing, just kind of plodding along and trying to keep it safe, at least for most of this race, and then maybe making a charge late. Lyon Watkins known for making those late charges as well, and that's what got him the win last week, or 2 weeks ago. And Abi, he always seems to be there, and he always makes the yellow flags work. He'll be towards the back, maybe outside the top 10, and all of a sudden everybody will come into the pits under a caution, he'll stay out. He'll be your leader, and you know, sometimes it pays off for him. Sometimes the field just blows his doors off, but he always finds a way to make a strategy get him to the front. So certainly don't count the 08 out, but right now it's hard to count out the 54 as the 8 almost gets into him again, but the 54 now going to make a move on the 131. That's for position. Big bump right there. Everybody keeping it clean other than a big old hop by the 131. But Owens now is in the lucky dog position. And now he's got to hold off Kevin to get back on the lead lap. And again, it's paid dividends for him.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely paid some dividends, but he, you know, he's not making too many friends out there right now either. So, you know, as him and Whitford got together, so I'm sure some words might be exchanged later on, as I can't hear what's going on in the driver's channel, but they're definitely not happy with Mr. Owens out there at the moment, but he is definitely holding them up. But he's maintaining his position, and he's in that lucky dog spot.
And what it's doing for us is it's keeping that battle for the lead to a 5-car battle at this point, as you have Foster, Mark Gonzalez, Ricky Gonzalez, Matt Crockett, and Paul Butler right there. And you see just popping into your screen behind Whitford is the 05 of Tim Thompson. So he's not too far from making this a 6-car battle, as Foster getting around the 54 once again, a dive down to the inside, side by side back into turn 3. Just an epic battle out here.
Yeah, he's just definitely pushing, and now you can see him.
Well,
Mark's
something's about to happen now as we're 3 wide. It looks like Mark playing the blocker. He will get by Owens. And now they're side by side for the lead. Owens giving Gonzalez a shot. And we're about to be 3 wide again, as Owens just still not going away, and a big bump into turn 1. Gonzalez saving it. But yes, certainly no friends being made out there right now.
Oh, that's
and a big wreck taking out the 8, the 77. Yeah, that's not what we want to see right there.
No, it's definitely not what you want to see, you know, right there. That was some very hard racing, and like I said, looks like Paul just came up and just, after Ricky tapped him in the rear and got him loose, and obviously collected a few other cars that, you know.
Well, that's what I'd like to see. Though I'd like to see if it was Owens coming up or if it was Gonzalez coming down. I mean, if we have a camera angle that shows us, you know, straight on from the back.
Hold on 1 second.
Because it looks like the 88 comes down into the 54.
Yeah, I don't usually like to redo these, but right. And let's.
I mean, if you're watching the dash lines, it looks like that 88 it does come down into the 54.
No way.
Yeah, that should be good right there. We'll try and take a look and see what happens as the 54 certainly gets into the 88 going into the corner.
Yeah, he definitely gives him the bumper. And you see a little bit of net code that came off of Kevin.
Mark Gonzalez saving it by doing a little slide job.
Yeah, he's definitely working that wheel.
And then, yeah, I mean, it looks like the 54 holds the line down in the bottom. 88 comes down and gets into the 54.
And obviously the 88 drifted up into the 08, and they had that accident.
Yeah, real shame taking out a few of the leaders there.
As we were talking about Obby earlier, about using them yellows. Look who's in the lead.
Yep, there it is.
They're Vishwasam, you know, playing possum tonight, finding himself out front here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that may be due to a lot of the leaders having to come in the pit to use a fast repair. But yeah, real shame to see a lot of the leaders get taken out there, as we had a good battle. And unfortunately, involved the 54, which looks like he is still one lap down. So I'm guessing, it considered that he was involved in that wreck. So he will not get his lap back by the lucky dog.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. You're in that lucky dog position and you get wrapped up into an accident. You're not granted that lucky dog. That just, that's not the way it works. So unfortunately, he's going to be on the tail end of these drivers again. And he's either going to be up front or he'll probably have to shift to the back. So now he'll have to get by everybody in order to fight for his lap back again. It looks like the pace car is in, and Abby's going to lead him down. It'll be green on him with Tim Thompson on the outside.
And another guy sneaking up there is Lion Watkins, as we're about 50 laps to go here, roughly. We are green once again here at Myrtle Beach, as we got a battle going into turn 1. Vasham on the inside in that 08, the 05 of Tim Thompson on the outside, followed by Ricky Gonzalez. And really got to wonder now, if these guys came into the pits, how much these tires are going to come into play.
I guess that's something we're going to find out right now. So, Abby's down on the low side. Looks like Tim might be able to get around him on the outside. The inside line is strong, but Tim was able to hold up on the outside, get around Abby, and make it work. So now Tim Thompson to the lead as we're getting ready to exit 4.
It looks like Abi is the only one that has not pit yet, as Thompson and Ricky Gonzalez and the rest of the field pit under that last caution there. But yeah, I mean, Vishwavasham not exactly, falling away. And if he can, maybe he'll get passed by a lot of these guys, but if he can hang in and grab the toe from the back of this field, he may still be able to make a race out of this. But right now it is Thompson making the best of every situation here. And he finds himself out in front, followed by Ricky Gonzalez and Kevin Foster, as it looks like Owens has moved himself into 4th on the track. So he's back and he's looking to fight once again to get his lap back. But right now, it's actually Kevin Foster is in the lucky dog spot. He is 1 lap down. So we'll see if maybe he has to be the new Paul Owens and he needs to get to the lead and hold everybody off, as he will make the move to the inside of Tim Thompson. And very close racing right there, as Thompson's going to move out to the outside. Foster now into 2nd on the track as he dives down on the inside of Ricky Gonzalez. Foster trying to get that lap back the hard way, and again, he may need to be the new Paul Owens, but the current Paul Owens is right there in 4th on track with Lion Watkins on the outside, so he's not exactly going away either.
No, he's definitely not going to go away. He's quick. He's good with this car. He drives, cars, in real life, on shorter tracks. So, this isn't the same exact car that he drives, but, this is good. This is up his wheelhouse. So I always expect Paul to be up front and fast at these tracks, as he's a younger driver, but he does race hard for the most part. And
Crockett gets into the wall
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing is all these guys that came into the pits, Paul Owens did not come into the pits either. And I think now you're starting to see those older tires of Owens just not be able to hang with the new tires. May not have had too much wear on the tires from the rest of the guys, but, even just coming in and cooling off and getting a new set of tires that's nice and cool, it's certainly helping out as he's starting to fall back through the field. Foster, meanwhile, is doing his best and trying everything he can to try and check away from Ricky Gonzalez here, who is your leader, as Lion Watkins has moved into 2nd place now, trying to hunt down Ricky.
Yeah, Watkins was, playing it safe in the beginning. Tim got caught up in that incident, but they were pretty quick during practice, and they're hanging in there. As they got to hold off some of the guys that were involved in the incident. But looks like the second Gonzalez brother is the inside of Tim Thompson now, looking to catch up to Watkins.
Watkins trying to join Kevin Foster with 2 wins in the first 4 races here. Be the only 2 guys with wins on the season. Gonzalez brothers and Tim Thompson looking to spoil the party. And yeah, I mean, it's really a shame to see some of these guys that were battling up front a lap down, because actually Mark Gonzalez is a lap down as well, along with Paul Owens, Paul Butler. Those guys are lap down. Kevin Foster essentially a lap down as he leads this field around the track right now. And all these guys were up there battling for the lead. Owens battling for the lucky dog spot, and unfortunately just didn't pan out for him. So now Foster's going to try and get that lap back the hard way, which he has. Needs a caution now to catch up to the back of the field. Mark Gonzalez right now in the lucky dog spot, so he would benefit from a yellow as well. But right now, Ricky Gonzalez has thrown out the grappling hook to the back of that 8 car, and they are just checking out from the field right now. So maybe that 8 car in the proverbial lead here is everything that the 7 wanted to see.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin's fast. So with Ricky being in second, all he has to do is follow him. I mean, it's not like he's getting any pressure right now, and the only person that's behind him is his brother. So if his brother is that fast, I don't see why he wouldn't maybe let his brother go by, and basically, if an accident were to happen, another yellow come out, possibly be on the lead lap as well, along with Kevin.
Yeah, right now the closest competitor for Ricky Gonzalez for position is Lion Watkins, but he's a ways back there, 1.8 seconds back, and may not seem like much, but on a short track like this, it is a pretty big margin. I mean, almost the entire backstretch is what he's behind. The rest of the field, as you can see right behind, kind of grouped up a little bit, and still battling for a lot of different positions back there, as Matt Crockett is the man in third.
Oh,
and
it looks like Paul got into Tim Thompson and pushed him
yeah,
towards the
Paul
wall.
Butler, Paul Owens getting into Tim Thompson. He's certainly not making any friends out there tonight, and certainly going to be some words, I'm sure, if they're not being said already.
Oh yeah, I can hear drive. I bet if I just visited driver chat for a little bit, I'm sure they're exchanging some words.
Yeah, maybe we change the driver chat to NSFW, as there's certainly going to be some expletives said in there. And luckily, we're keeping them off of the stream here for you, as I have muted driver chat in iRacing and in Discord as well. And I mean, the racing here has been pretty good. I mean, I guess we've seen that the best battle was when Owens was out front trying to hold everybody back, as now the the 7 has that 1.8 second lead, but nobody has really fallen back that far. Whitford just seems to be a little bit off pace, but he's still kind of plugging along and logging laps, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you need to get out here, you need to get experience, and whether you're out there in last 4 laps down, or you're in 5th, just off the pace, either way, getting those practice laps, especially in a race condition, is absolutely vital.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're just not, I mean, for me, I don't like short tracks at all, like nightmare. But with this car, it wasn't too bad. I'm sure, if I were to spend a little bit of time and maybe actually take and learn with a little bit of slower car, basically practicing, your entries and exits, and get that repetition down, and then, step up, through the cars, and just get better at it, and just laps on a track, even no matter what car it is in, always makes things a little bit better at the end.
Yeah, I am right with you with the short tracks. I'm not a big fan of short tracks myself, and maybe a little bit of breather for these guys, and maybe not, as next week, or it's actually 2 weeks from now, the next race is going to be at Miami Homestead. So we go from a half-mile track all the way up to a 1.5-mile track. Going to be the biggest track that they go to all season, as well, I guess we had Charlotte 2 weeks ago, and we've seen plenty of good battling there, and seen a lot of pack racing. You're going to see the same thing at Miami Homestead in a couple weeks, and then we have Richmond, Nashville Fairgrounds, and Kansas to finish off the season. So other than Nashville, I guess Richmond is 3/4 miles, so maybe you can consider like 1.5 more short tracks after this, but it'd be interesting to see, once these guys get to Richmond and Nashville, if these short track specialists come back out there and have a little bit better run and aren't out there a lap down.
Yeah, it looks like Jeremy Line Watkins, he got around what was that, Mark Gonzalez there, and hopefully maybe he can start catching up to the Ricky Gonzalez that's up in front of him. There's Matt Crockett's in 3rd place tonight in that yellow machine right there, and he's basically just chugging along. He's been pretty consistent all night, not super fast, but staying clean for the most part, and he's finding himself in a 3rd place, which is good for his first night back in a while.
Yeah, both those guys, Line Watkins and Crockett, kind of known for just kind of plodding along for most of the race, and then all of a sudden, showing a little bit of speed towards the end. So not a shocker to see both those guys up in the top 3. Obviously, some early incidents to help them out with that, but they're known for just kind of hanging around and maybe saving a little bit of tires and or gas and then turning it on towards the end. And that's exactly what they're doing now, as with Ricky Gonzalez coming out of turn 3, coming to the line. We are down to 25 laps to go at the line right now. So 4/5 of the race is done. That last 5th is where you're going to make your money. Time to start making your moves and figuring out if you got something for the win here. And Ricky Gonzalez certainly looks like he does, as he is checking out further and further. Now all the way out to a 3.2 second lead over Line Watkins. Matt Crockett has closed up to the back of Line Watkins, and that's about to be a battle for 2nd place as Mark Gonzalez kind of hangs in there. He is in the lucky dog position if a yellow were to come out.
Yeah, he's definitely in that position, right here, Matt kind of setting up Jeremy, with the closing laps to come. I mean, there is 22 laps, but they're not very long laps. They're only about 20 seconds, 22 seconds here. As you can see, their last laps flashing up on the screen. Also, like back here, Tim Thompson is trying to get back around Abby, as Paul Butler is on the outside of Paul Owens right now.
Both those guys a lap down and pretty far back from Mark Gonzalez for that lucky dog position, but still a good battle there, as that is for position. That is for 8th place on the track. And yeah, the 2 O cars, the 08 and the 05, just kind of watching this battle and wondering how it's going to play out, as Butler of the PB&J duo goes to the inside, but Owens again, just like a little gnat, just out there and just being annoying to everybody, as they were about to go 3 wide. And I don't think Owens realized that, as the 54 and 77 get together, that that makes the 77's outside mirror start dangling a little bit. But yeah, we know that really doesn't matter too much. But again, Owens just not making any friends out there, and part of me can't wait to get into that chat and find out how everything's going. The other part of me just, oh boy.
I hear some extra time after the race. Anyways, it's Tim Thompson is trying to get underneath Paul Butler right now, as Abby was able to get around Paul Owens and Paul Butler as they were battling for 7th and 8th. No, 8th and 9th. And again,
the battle for 8th and 9th there.
Yeah, back up to the lead again. There's Ricky's. He's out to a 4-second, lead there. Back in 2nd place is Jeremy Line Watkins, with Matt Crockett not far behind him. Only a half a second back. Looking to battle for the 2nd podium spot, as he's in the 3rd podium spot at this moment. But and then going back, obviously back to where we were at, back to Abby. He's in 4th place, and along with Tim Thompson back in 5th place. That is basically trapped behind Paul Butler and Paul Owens as they continue to battle for 8th and 9th. It is a very intense battle, as I'm sure the Pauls are making sandwiches, with their mirrors.
Yeah, good showing for Vishvasham and Tim Thompson running in the top 5 spots there. But one thing I've noticed is, again, it's a real shame that that the leaders got caught up in the battles. But if this were a battle for the lead, Kevin Foster's figured out a way to check out a bit from Ricky Gonzalez out front. So clearly has plenty of pace left in that car, as he's got a good gap on that 7 car right now as they both get around Brendan Whitford, put him another lap down. And would love to see if if a caution comes out again, as it looks like the 54 had some issues on the front stretch. And
Oh, he
now,
did.
once again, he's going to come face to face with the 8 car, as we'll take a look at what happened. And yeah, it looks like the 77 just maybe a little bit tired of all the battling, and Owen just spins it around. Luckily, nobody was coming, able to get it back going again. But yeah, I guess all the things he was giving everybody else is starting to come back on him, and he's the one that's starting to get turned around now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a time and place, and when you're that far back and you're holding people up constantly, beating on bang on them through, the whole race, it's not gonna go well through the field. The other drivers, they're not gonna play, and sometimes, maybe he was trying to slow down, and Paul said, "I have more tires," and maybe Paul just tried to slow him up a little bit in order to slow down his run that he had. So, there's a lot of different strategy when you have somebody behind you. You can forcibly check them up and basically ruin their run to keep them behind you. And it looks like now he's just gonna let. We'll see, Kevin Foster's underneath, so we'll see how Paul handles this one.
Yeah, it looks like the 77 will give back that position. So a real good gentlemanly thing to do there, and we love to see that kind of thing happen. Regardless of any kind of animosity that's going on or any kind of rough racing by either driver, when you see that happen right there, that's what you like to see. The 77 knows he made a mistake. He turned the 54, slowing up and possibly giving up a chance to run down anybody else, including Mark Gonzalez. Just to give that position back is a really good thing to see, as he was able to get back past the 54. So that battle still wages on. But right now, with 8 laps to go out front, it is Ricky Gonzalez that has got a stranglehold on the lead right now, out to 4 seconds ahead of Jeremy Lamb Watkins. And pending any kind of issues by the 7 or any kind of yellow flags by the rest of the field, this thing looks pretty wrapped up for Ricky Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's got a substantial lead at the moment, as Jeremy wasn't quite able to keep up with his pace. But Jeremy winning not too long ago, and to finish second here tonight would be a good feat, and then Matt Crockett's within striking range, but he just can't seem to catch Jeremy. And he's back there battling with Mark Gonzalez too much, but it looks like just Mark Gonzalez is just following Crockett around, not giving him too much of a room, as Matt is battling for second position, even though as he currently sits in third. And obviously, as we go back to the field again, Avi still sitting in fourth place. Tim Thompson, nobody in front of him now to hold him up, but there's definitely a 4-second gap to Avi, so it's quite a little ways for him to probably catch him. Running out of laps here as he's trying to rub off his right mirror. And then obviously Kevin Foster, he got around Ricky. He is back on the lead lap in 6th place. He's doing a heck of a job catching back up, but Tim Thompson is that
It's about 3 seconds ahead
3
right
seconds,
now. I mean,
3 seconds ahead, so
yeah, if this thing went another 5 to 10 laps, I think the 8 car would have run down the 05. So a great job by him trying to get back into this race here. But out front, I mean, it is just all Ricky Gonzalez right now. But yeah, I mean, for Jeremy Lamb Watkins, this is about as maybe as good as you could do for tonight, is finishing second, and really there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, considering he came into the night second in points, only 27 back of Kevin Foster, pretty decent margin. But the fact that he's looking at a second place here, and Foster is looking at a 6th place as the 131 gets into the wall, it's going to be a good points night for him, and that's really all the all the 71 can hope for.
oh yeah, definitely. He would definitely be happy with that finish, and Whitford just not liking his car tonight, and keeping it high for these guys to go underneath him, I'm sure. So they can just keep this race clean, as he's been having a little bit of trouble tonight getting around, but looks like he's just gonna chug along on the outside until the end of this thing.
Well, the end of this thing is near, as the 7 car has taken the white flag. One more lap to go as he brings that thing onto the backstretch. Looks like he's gotten around Paul Butler to put him another lap down. But out of turn 3, one of the Gonzalez brothers wins it, and it's Ricky Gonzalez taking home the win. Jeremy Watkins in that Cincinnati Children's Hospital vehicle coming home second. Matt Crockett a close third from the pole to third. Pretty good showing right there. Vishuvasim gets turned at the end there, but he will finish fourth. And I think that was about the only car that Owens had not wrecked into, as he gets wrecked into after the line for sure. Tim Thompson round out your top 5 as we take a look at the little shenanigans here at the end of the race. And I gotta say, you know, B saved it pretty well there.
Yeah, he definitely did save it, and I'm sure everybody's gonna give Paul his beating and bangings here at the end of the race, but definitely didn't make it easy for these guys tonight. And as the race results are up, here's your final results for tonight's race. Is Ricky Gonzalez is your winner, and Jeremy Watkins takes home the second place, with Matt Crockett taking home P3, which is a great showing for him tonight. And welcome back, Matt. Avi Visavason is in fourth, and Tim Thompson in fifth. And Kevin Foster round out with a strong finish after getting in an incident earlier with a 6th place finish. Mark Gonzalez 7th, Paul Butler 8th, Paul Owens, everybody's friend tonight, in 9th, and Brandon Whitford in 10th.
All right, so we will start bringing in our guys for the post-race interviews. And first one we bring in here is a guy that is back into core racing after a little bit of a hiatus. Matt Crockett, this has got to be a you know, a nice little way to return. I mean, you had the pole and you know, weren't able to get the job done for the win, but still, the third place has got to be a good showing for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. My rear end is a little numb. My arms hurt a little bit, but yeah, fun race.
Well, I think the way that Paul Owens was roughing everybody up out there, I think a lot of people's rear ends are a little numb. But yeah, it looked like a bit of a rough race out there. I mean, you guys were able to keep it clean for the most part, but you know, certainly some bumpers and some bump and runs being had out there. Did you have any issues with anybody else out there?
No, not really. Somehow I split the wreck and made it through that one, and then actually accidentally went through pit road again. I was going to get left side tires instead of just rights, and realized it was one to go, and I was like, oh, I can't do that. So I ended up falling all the way back on that last restart, but yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, you certainly made it work. It looked like you were trying to work that high line for a while. Was that more to save tires, or did you just kind of feel comfortable with that line?
Honestly, I've ran some laps earlier in just to practice, and the high line is all right. I was just trying to move around to try to catch the guy in front of me and seeing if I could gain anything. Even the last few laps there, I was shifted down to second in the corners just to see if I can get any run on him, and I didn't have anything. It was pretty much stuck like that.
Yeah, luckily you're kind of just stagnant there in third place. But again, still a third place, still a good start to you know, returning back to core. So welcome back, and a good show out there. And anybody you want to send a shout out to before we send you out of here?
Core, Carl, y'all. Y'all are awesome. It was a fun race. A lot of us were having fun just chatting back and forth on this race, and like to thank my sponsors, my little Liquid Death. They hooked me up, and Utah Foster Care for allowing me to run the colors and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I just picked the generic Mazda bright yellow so I can be seen. So other than that, I'm good.
Well, you were certainly seen finishing third out there, so certainly a welcome back for you.
Yeah, welcome back, Matt. That's for sure. It was good to see you up front, and hopefully you'll continue the run the rest of the races this year, and Maybe we'll even see you on the in the winner's circle.
Maybe I'll cross my fingers, knock on some wood, and throw some salt over my left arm or something like that.
Get the rabbit's foot, get the shamrock, yeah, get everything going here. But yeah, good showing out there tonight. Once again, we will see you back here. Hopefully, in 2 weeks is when the next race is here for the Homestead Miami. So, good job out here again, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, that was the number 10, your third place, Matt Crockett. Now bringing in the man that finished in second. Came in second in points, so a second place finish has got to feel pretty good out here.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I had it, just burnt the right front off trying to chase him back down again. I knew it was getting loose there, so I just held on to what I had.
Yeah, it looked like you were kind of hanging up there with Ricky for a while, and then all of a sudden it looked like once Kevin got by everybody, Ricky kind of I said in the broadcast that he threw the grappling hook out there and let Kevin pull him out to it's a big lead. Was that kind of what the determining factor was with Ricky being able to kind of draft behind Kevin?
No, I believe he might have had a little bit of help from his brother holding me back there for 5-10 laps.
Well, that would certainly help out as well. Yeah, we did see in a battle right there, and you eventually were able to get by him, and maybe then Mark returned the favor a little bit by holding up Crockett and not letting him catch up to you for the second place battle. But yeah, I mean, again, it's a good points finish. You finished with the win the last time we were out here at Charlotte. Now a second place, it's going to help you obviously reel back in Kevin, who was only able to get a sixth place here. So looking forward to the next race at Homestead Miami. How do you think that one's going to play out for you?
That's a good question. That's a track I've only been on a handful of times. I have to work at it because I just don't like that track.
Well, it'll certainly be different with the Mazdas on there, as you go from a half-mile track here to a 1.5-mile track there. So I'm sure we'll be back to the pack racing, and I know you've certainly shown your muscle when it comes to the pack racing. Just kind of hanging in the back and then moving up to the front. So we'll certainly be looking forward to seeing the charge you to put in that race. But anybody you want to send a shout out to before we send you out of here?
Yeah, once again, Cincinnati Children's put it up there in the top 3 again, so that'll put some more smiles on their face. Thank you guys. You and Jimmy up there, you guys are doing a fantastic job with the broadcast. Thank you guys for setting all this up, and of course, most importantly, my wife. Without her, I would not be able to do what I do. So.
Absolutely. Well, great job out there. Another great finish for the 71. Certainly going to be talking to you again soon, and I wouldn't doubt that we're talking to you again at the next race.
I hope so. Like I said, it's just a track I got to practice on. I'm not fond of it, so.
All right. Well, you got plenty of time. You got a couple weeks to get it in, so we will be talking to you soon.
All right. Thanks again, guys.
You're welcome, Jerry.
That was the 71, your second place finisher, Jeremy Lyle Watkins. Jimmy, I'll let you go ahead and take our race winner here, Ricky Gonzalez.
Hey, Ricky, this is Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you see things worked out in your favor tonight, where you land up here in Victory Lane. So can you walk us through the race tonight, as we can see that there was some pretty hard racing going on out there?
Yeah, during the first half, I guess we had a lap car that was in the way, the 54. So I was just trying to, be patient. Didn't want to get myself caught up in an accident. These cars are really loose on cold tires, so I knew if I just bought time, let those guys mess around with each other. Hopefully Foster could probably burn his stuff up. And then Mark, he said he wanted to try to see if we can get the 54 out of the way. So I let him by, and so like I said, I was just riding for a little bit. And so, yeah, it worked out in our favor. They got caught up in a wreck. I knew it was coming, and so just wanted to try to get out there clean.
Yeah, you were definitely able to escape the shenanigans up front, and it paid out for you tonight. And then obviously not having to take any damage or fast repairs, allowed you to stay out there at a lead. And I see Kevin Foster was able to, at the end, basically walk away from you a little bit, as you had a good lead over Jeremy Line Watkins, was finished second.
Yeah,
Do you think Kevin, if he would have been able to maintain on the lead lap, been a little bit of trouble for you?
probably. Yeah, he had by far the fastest car on the track. I was trying to follow him, trying to probably learn something, a thing or two. I'm still, like I said, I'm still new to this iRacing stuff. So any chance I get to learn, whether it's in a NASCAR or IndyCar, or a Mazda Miata, I want to get behind somebody who's quick and just learn.
Well, you're definitely doing that. You're putting yourself in the right spot at the right time, and tonight, you were able to come off with a win. So, is there anybody out there you'd like to give a shout out to?
I just want to give a shout out to my girl. She watches these things, so brought home another W. I can get used to talking to you on Monday nights. If it's the off-road truck or if it's the Mazda Miata, we just got to get some finishes on Sunday night. Coming back from Coda, jumped on the rig, tested for a little bit, so I can get used to talking to you. I like it.
Well, we certainly like the battles out there tonight. So good job out there with the victory, and yeah, it's. So I guess maybe the question is, now that your brother has come into a core race and not won, will he stick around until he wins before he leaves this series as well, or?
He's got to. I got the one up. I got 2 wins on Monday night, so to his none. So
Oh,
if he
there it
can
is.
just finish the race, that's his goal. Just finish the race for him. But no, it's without Mark II, I wouldn't be where I am now with learning on this iRacing stuff. So let's go get him on Wednesday. We're in the Ghost Cup series, and then on Friday in Backfire. Carl, I'm coming for you. I want that title.
Well, you got a battle on your hands, so I will certainly be throwing the blocks out there like Paul Butler or Paul Owens was tonight. So, but no, good job out here.
Surprised he didn't piss off a lot of people.
I'm surprised as well. I mean, we weren't even in there, but I assumed he got into everybody tonight. Maybe not the pace car, but that was about it.
I was gonna say hit everything but the pace car.
He probably would have done that if you couldn't have to drive through it.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it was definitely the roadblock out there tonight.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the broadcast too. Appreciate y'all doing this.
Absolutely, buddy. Good job out there. Good win once again, and we'll see you in a couple weeks as we go to Homestead, Miami.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Well, Jimmy, 125 laps of short track racing here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, and it didn't disappoint. It was short track racing, kind of at its best, especially in this like 4-cylinder style.
Yeah, no, definitely a great racing tonight, and I think I found my spot with short track racing here in the booth. That's where it's at.
It's a lot safer, less people to block you. I may talk over you every once in a while, but you're not going to get any X for that. So
No, we can't give each other X's up here. I think we're good. I am kosher sitting up here. This is a thrill. This is a joy. Again, I like watching these guys, every Monday, and and then even Thursday nights when we do the core vintage cup series, and that's a lot of fun too. So definitely enjoy my time up here, and try to make the time. And everybody's always thanking their wives and stuff, and they play a big role. They let us do this, well, not just let us do it, but they either tolerate it or whatever. But shout out to the ladies out there that allow the guys to get out there, and and hey guys, if your ladies want to drive, maybe we should do that. If we can get a league run, and maybe get the ladies out here on the track, see what they can do.
Yeah, we've certainly tried it before with having a little ladies' night out there, and there's some that are would be interested, and there's some that already don't like it to begin with because we're out here doing it. But yeah, certainly shout out to all the wives, girlfriends, everybody out there, mine included. It's
maybe
it's
we
a
can
blast
maybe we can go instead of just ladies. Maybe we got family, because I have multiple children here at the house, and I know a lot of other people do. And we just throw like a little 50 lap pretty easy race with the Mazdas and let them run at it and see what they can do just to have fun.
I can certainly get my 4-year-old on here. He's always wanted to sit behind the wheel anyway, and he can at least throw some blocks on the field like Owens out there. So
it would definitely be entertaining, and it'd be a little interesting to broadcast if we can get to it. But it would definitely, I think, be an interesting thing that we could probably throw together for the family.
Absolutely. Well, this was a blast, and I said it before the race that it may be a smaller field out here. We had 10 cars out here tonight, so it's a pretty decent sized field considering. And no matter what, these guys put on a great show, and they didn't disappoint once again. As Jimmy mentioned, on Thursday night, we are back in the Vintage Cup Series. That one this week is going to be at Rockingham, so should be a really good race there. As that track is another one that can really bite you if you're not paying attention, especially coming out of turn 2 onto the backstretch. So should be a really good one. Make sure you tune into that. Then on the next Monday night broadcast, we're going to be back in the Lucas Oil trucks as we head to Laguna Seca. And that one is going to be extremely interesting as track limits are essentially going to be turned off if these guys, have the time to give back their time penalty. They're more than willing to do that. There's going to be 30x just like we had at Lime Rock to start off the season, and obviously you guys seen a great race there as Chris Hamilton pretty much dominated the race, but Nobinger was able to hold off everybody by making the big track cuts at the right time and was able to give back the time where he needed to and took home the victory. So certainly be interesting to see what these guys do next Monday night at Laguna Seca. Should be a good one there for 25 laps. But for tonight, that will do it for myself and Jimmy in the booth. I know we had a blast. If you did, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, so you can make sure you stay tuned to all the core action here. That's going to do it for us tonight. We will see you at the track.